Can you actually mine cryptocurrency on this little Raspberry Pi? Yeah, you can. But should you though? Yes, you should. But is it profitable? Not exactly, but don't let that dissuade you, please. Because in this video, I'm gonna show you how to mine cryptocurrency on this little credit card sized computer, a Raspberry Pi, and it's fun. Not only is it just cool to say you've done this, but you'll learn a ton about cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency mining along the way. So here we go, this has been on my bucket list for a long time. Let's turn this little guy into a cryptocurrency mining machine. But first, real quick, I got a question for you. Can the cloud, which is where basically everything is on the internet, all their services, can the cloud be hacked? Yeah, of course it can be hacked. The cloud is not a safe place unless you make it safe. This right here is why we need the sponsor of today's video, CloudSec 2021, presented by Trend Micro. CloudSec 2021 is a virtual conference, 3 days of awesomeness, and you don't want to miss it. Which, by the way, one of those days is a 24-hour CTF hands-on lab challenge. It's gonna be cool. And this conference is for people like you who wanna learn more about the cloud, cloud security, DevSecOps, which is like the coolest term ever, and the current cyber threat landscape. So what's it gonna be like? Is it gonna be like every virtual conference? No. Here's the agenda right here. 3 days, 3 themes. Reimagine, creation, and my favorite, practice. Now, some key things about this conference. First, community. You'll get access to a community of cloud and security experts, and this is one of the biggest cloud communities out there. You'll also get some keynotes from the industry leaders and experts like from AWS and Trend Micro and SNCC. And then check this out. There are over 100 sessions covering things like Zero Trust, XDR, which is reimagining the SOC, cloud infrastructure as code, cloud native DevOps, and the cyber threat landscape. And then what's really cool is the region-specific insights you get on day 2. You'll hear from experts local to you, sharing their insights and observations for your area, for what you're dealing with, the security things you're facing. And then of course, day 3 is all about practicing, hands-on, a challenge, 24 hours of non-stop play. So anyways, free virtual cloud security conference. So if you're into cloud, which if you're not, you should be, and security, this is for you. So go, register right now, link below. The conference is November 16th through 18th, completely free and completely awesome. And thanks again to CloudSec 2021 and Trend Micro for sponsoring this video. Anyways, back to the Raspberry Pi stuff. Now first, I gotta say this. We will not be mining any of the big cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Those guys are out, and I'll explain why here in a moment. What we'll be mining is a cryptocurrency called Monero, which is Esperanto for coin. Little fun fact there. Coffee break for the fun fact. Monero is a pretty well-known coin, and it's all about secure, anonymous transactions. So it has a pretty cool use case, and it's the perfect coin to mine with a Raspberry Pi. But why? We'll cover that here in a moment, but first let's talk about what you need for this project. At the top of our list is a Raspberry Pi, and that's pretty much all you're going to need. And for this, you'll want a Raspberry Pi 3 or 4. Either one will work, but obviously 4 is better because you want more power. And then like every Raspberry Pi project, you'll need an SD card, power supply, SD card reader, and last but certainly not least, a solid cup of coffee. Now real quick, before we dive in and go crazy with this, let's talk about why we're doing Monero over BTC or Ethereum. And also, why are we even crypto mining, and what is crypto mining? Now, if you already know all this stuff, go ahead and skip forward. I've got timestamps below. But if you don't, let's talk a little bit more about Monero. Now, the simple answer as to why we're not mining Bitcoin or Ethereum is that it's just too stinking hard. Our little Raspberry Pi would just not be able to do it. He couldn't cut it. But Monero, he can do that. It's easier. Now let's talk about what crypto mining actually means. Crypto mining is all about supporting the blockchain. What does that mean? Let's talk about it. So one cool thing about cryptocurrency, and actually one of the main cool things about it, is that I can send money to you without involving a bank. Which traditionally it always involves a bank. But not with crypto, son. I can send Ben 1 Bitcoin and I don't have to involve Zelle, Chase, Bank of America, or anybody. Which, Ben, you're welcome. 1 Bitcoin's a crazy amount of money. What is it, 66,000 right now? $67,000 for 1 Bitcoin. I hope you're watching this right now and it's at 100,000. Let me know if it is, comment below. Anyways, now again, normally a bank would have to be used to keep track of that transaction. But with crypto, nope, no bank. But then who keeps track of it? Everybody. Everyone involved with this cryptocurrency keeps track of it. It's decentralized. All of us keep track of all the transactions with this currency. And we write it down in our diary, our journal. It's not a journal, but it kind of is. This diary or journal is called the blockchain. We'll generate a hash of this transaction, kind of like a label, an identifier, and we'll lump that all together with a bunch of other transactions all around the same time. And we'll group those into a block, and then we'll chain another block to that, and another block to that. Get it? The blockchain. And think about that for a second. This blockchain, this ledger, this cryptocurrency diary contains every single transaction ever for that cryptocurrency. You can look at it right now and see everything that's been done with Bitcoin since the dawn of time. Everyone can see it. And you can't change it. So forever, everyone knows I sent Ben 1 Bitcoin and that can never be changed. And to make sure that can't be changed or tampered with or hacked, that's where we come in. The miners. We make sure the blockchain is safe. That's how we support the blockchain. We secure it. Let me show you. The miners have a pretty big job. Their job is to add new blocks to the blockchain. But this right here is hard. To be able to add a block to the blockchain, you have to have a tremendous amount of computing power and you have to be fast and kind of lucky. Let me do a high level walkthrough real quick because it is super in depth and deep what actually happens here and I can't go that deep right now. But high level, here we go. Back to me and Ben. Ben, I'm feeling super generous today. Buddy, I'm gonna send you, yeah, you guessed it, another Bitcoin. So boom, I send Ben another Bitcoin, another transaction. There you go, Ben. This transaction is then advertised out to the Bitcoin network, to the Bitcoin nodes to be verified. And once verified, it'll be placed in a pool. This pool or memory pool is like a waiting room. It's like a holding area, holding tank. These little transactions are waiting for their chance to be written to the blockchain and to be remembered forever. But what are they waiting on? Well, they're waiting on us. They're waiting on the miners. See, it's the miners' job to go out and gather these transactions and put them inside a block and write it to the blockchain. Easier said than done, sucker. Here's what we have to do though. Written into the blockchain, the program, is a puzzle, a cryptographic hash puzzle. Then the miner, us, if we can solve that next cryptographic hash puzzle and the blockchain, if we can figure it out the fastest and we're the first one to do it, then we get the honors of adding the next block to the blockchain. We'll dip our hands into the memory pool and pull out some transactions that are waiting patiently, put them inside a block, and add them to the blockchain. And guess what? We are rewarded handsomely for our efforts. If you do get to add a block to the blockchain in Bitcoin, you are rewarded with, how many? Let me Google it real quick. This will change, by the way. You're rewarded with 6.25 Bitcoin, which equates to $421,000 as of the recording of this video. Whew! Easy enough, right? Man, let's get rich. No, it's not that easy, obviously, right? Because here's why. We're not the only miner out there. If we were, dude, we would be rich. The problem is, there are a ton of other people competing to do this. A ton of other people trying to solve the same puzzle. There's only one right answer, and they're all competing for it. Now, how you solve this problem, it's a very complex mathematical problem, just big math. Big math. How you do that is with brute force, guessing. Our miner, our Raspberry Pi, is just gonna guess as many times as it can to solve the problem. 1, no. 2, no. 3, no. 4, no. 5, no. And it does this over and over and over until it gets the right answer. And whoever gets the answer the fastest will win. Now again, there's a lot more that goes into this, a bunch more magic that happens. Trust me, it's magic. And if you want me to make another video deep diving into how this works, let me know. But for now, just know that in order to add a block to the blockchain and get that reward, you have to solve a really hard math problem, and you have to be the quickest to do it. And that's exactly why the Raspberry Pi cannot be used to mine Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of those big name cryptocurrencies. And with currencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, we got a couple things working against us and our poor little Pi. First, the more miners there are, the more difficult it is to solve this crypto puzzle. The difficulty will actually increase the more miners there are. And Bitcoin and Ethereum are two of the most popular cryptos out there, and there are a bunch of people mining them. And these people don't just use Raspberry Pis. They use crazy things like massive GPUs like 3090s. They also use things called ASICs, which are specialized computers and devices that are built, are purpose-made to mine Bitcoin. And they do it faster than anybody else. Let me show you. A popular brand is Antminer. And this beast is purpose-designed to do one thing: mine Bitcoin. That's all it thinks about. Breathing and mining Bitcoin. And it doesn't come cheap. $12,000. Are you kidding me? It's gonna be a $35 Raspberry Pi any day of the week. And right now there are data centers just chock full of these machines, more powerful than this even, constantly mining for Bitcoin, constantly guessing the answer to that crypto puzzle. And you know what? They're gonna end up winning the block reward, the chance to actually write that next block to the blockchain more than we are. In fact, we'll never, ever get a chance with this little puny guy. So now let's talk about Monero and why it's better for us than Bitcoin or Ethereum. Monero doesn't like ASICs. They think it's bad for the blockchain, and it actually is. You see, blockchain technologies are all about decentralizing the control of a currency. And the problem we're seeing right now with all these crazy powerful ASICs is that people can fill their data centers with a ton of these ASICs. Like I'm talking like one company or one person, and they can start to get more control over what gets added to the blockchain than anyone else. It becomes more centralized. They get to add more blocks than anybody else. It becomes unfair, and right now, no one can really mine Bitcoin unless you get something crazy like those ant miners. But Monero said, no, we're not doing that. When you're mining Bitcoin, you're gonna use their algorithm, which is the SHA-256 algorithm. Monero has their own. It's called RandomX. And they built into their algorithm ASIC prevention, basically making it to where if you tried to mine Monero with an ASIC, it wouldn't be worth it. How does that work? I don't know. that's up here for me. You see, Monero's goal was to make it to where anyone could mine Monero. Any PC, even something small like a Raspberry Pi. And this makes it to where their system, their blockchain is more decentralized, where a lot more people have a chance to write a block to the blockchain. Now, just one more thing before we jump into actually how to do this. This whole thing with how Bitcoin allows miners to do things in Monero and Ethereum, this process is called proof of work. And again, there's a lot more to it than what I talked about here, but just know that's what this is called. And it involves our computers solving very complex cryptographic math puzzles, hash puzzles, and racing to get the right answer. So anyways, that was a quick rundown, I don't know how quick that was, of cryptocurrency mining. Let me know what you thought of that below. Anyways, now time to crypto mine on this Raspberry Pi, and we're gonna mine Monero. And the process is actually pretty quick and painless, and honestly, I'm shocked at this little guy's performance. So let's do it. After a quick coffee break, hold on. That was a lot of crypto explaining. I think I earned that one. Anyways, here we go. Oh, and also the block reward for XMR or Monero, that's what it's called, XMR coin, that's its abbreviation. When you get to add a block to the blockchain, it's gonna be 1.16 XMR, which equates to about 300 bucks at the time of this recording. I'll stop right there. Don't even think about it. No, you're not gonna be making about 300 bucks with your Raspberry Pi doing this. At least not anytime soon. I'll explain later. Okay, the first few steps involve baking our Pi. This will be a typical Raspberry Pi setup. Now we will be using Raspberry Pi OS, but we're gonna be using 64-bit. That's required. For that, we're gonna have to go out to raspberrypi.org and download their image. I've got the link below in the description. It's gonna be Raspberry Pi OS Lite, ARM64, and we'll pick the latest one right here. For you, that might be different depending on when you are at. So I'll click on that and click on that zip file to download. Bam. It was this guy right here. You might need a coffee break. This will take a moment. Okay, mine took a minute. Anyways, we got our zip file here. I'll go ahead and open that folder, or open that file rather. Unzip it. Extract all. And in that folder should be our image. Perfect. Now, let's grab our SD card, put it inside our micro SD card USB reader. There we go, and I'll be right back. Cool, mine is in my computer. Now, to launch our Raspberry Pi Imager, this is my recommended tool to write stuff to your SD card, link below. Anyways, choose our OS. We're gonna scroll down to the very bottom and do Use Custom, because we got a custom OS we're gonna use, and we'll find that file we just downloaded. Here's that folder, there's that image, Raspberry Pi OS, Bullseye, ARM64 Lite, open. I'll choose my storage. I've got a massive SD card, I don't know why. And then, hold on, not quite yet. Click on Control-Shift-X to open our super secret menu, so we can do our headless install. Anyways, we're gonna click on Enable. I've been learning French. Enable SSH, put in the password for your Pi user, and then down here we'll enable Wi-Fi and configure our Wi-Fi. Unless you're doing hardwired, then that will be different for you. All right, Wi-Fi set up, password set. I'm all good to go. I'm gonna click on Save, then Write, and then Yes, and let it do its thing. Hopefully it doesn't take too long this time. I'm gonna do a quick coffee. We already downloaded our stuff. Yeah, it's going pretty quick. Yep, that was pretty quick. Okay, cool. It's done. Gonna go grab it. Be right back. We'll take the SD card out of our reader, throw that into our Raspberry Pi. Oh, come on, all right, here we go. And then plug in some power. And go. Now we're gonna wait for it to boot, and while it's doing that, I'm gonna go log into my router so I can see the latest DHCP IP address it hands out, because it's probably gonna be this guy. It'll be his IP address. If you don't have Ubiquiti, your router will look different. And there mine is, 10.7.1.182. That's the IP address I'm gonna use. Sorry, I'm a little hopped up on coffee, like always. Anyways, we're gonna launch our terminal. For Windows, it'll be CMD, Mac or Linux, it'll be terminal, and then we'll log into our device. Command will be SSH Pi at 10.7.1.182, or whatever your IP address is. Getting logged in here. Type in yes, enter your password, and we're in. Yes, okay. Let's get this thing going. Let's turn this beast into a, well, crypto mining beast. First, let's update our repositories. The command will be sudo apt update. This should be fairly quick. It's just gonna go out there, update its repository list and stuff. We're solid. Now to install our prereqs, or the things we need to make this thing run. Command is sudo apt install, and then I'll copy a bunch of stuff we're gonna throw in there. Again, commands will be below, and go. This will take a moment. Just chill or drink some coffee or tea or whatever you got. Cool, that was pretty fast. All right, now we're gonna use git. I'm gonna paste the command in here. Oh wait, did I get it? Okay, here we go. There we go. We're gonna use git to pull down this program, XMRig or XMRig. We're gonna clone that repository. Bam, cloned. And then we're gonna change directory into that directory by doing cd space XMRig. We're in. Now we're gonna make a new directory, mkdir build. We'll cd into that directory, cd build. Now we're going to install a program by building it from the source, which is pretty cool. The first command will be cmake space ... Enter that. That'll be really fast. Done. And now for the long part. Type in make. That's it. Hit enter and take a long coffee break. That's what I'm doing. You can track your progress over here on the left. Notice our percentages over here. Anyways, see you in a bit. Okay, mine is done. That took a minute. But anyways, we are ready to go. Like, that's done. Now with just one command, we can turn this guy into a mining machine. But hold up real quick. There is one more thing we have to do. I almost forgot. Remember, we'll be mining the cryptocurrency Monero, which means we'll be gaining some XMR coin. That's what it looks like. Now, in order for us to mine that cryptocurrency, they have to be able to give it to us. And the way you receive cryptocurrency, keep it, buy it, whatever, is by storing that sucker into a wallet. Now, instead of a regular wallet like you put in your pocket, it's gonna be a digital wallet out there on the interwebs or somewhere safe. You have a lot of options for wallets, but for this example, just to get you going and make this fast, let's walk through creating one right now. If we go out to getmonero.org, I've got a link below, we will go to downloads and click on, well, we have a few options here, but I'll just get the GUI wallet because it'll be simple. So for me right now, I've got Windows, so I'll click on that, 64-bit installer, then I'll click on it to install, and it's gonna install like any other Windows app. You know the drill, next, I accept, yeah, next, and install, and finish. So I'll go ahead and find that on my computer and launch that. It's called GUI wallet, yeah, there it is. It's called GUI wallet if you wanna find it. I'm gonna allow it to reach the outside, that'll be fine. Continue, and then we'll just do simple mode. You can change this at any time, but just for this example, let's get you going. So I'll click on that box, I understand, next. We'll create a new wallet, name it whatever you want, store it wherever you want, and then right here, you wanna back up this. This is your mnemonic seed. This is how every crypto wallet is backed up and restored. So if you ever have to restore this wallet, you're gonna use this. So take that, write it down physically somewhere on a piece of paper, then click on next, put a password in for it, click on next, and then we're good. Click on create wallet, and then put in that same password you had before. Boom, we've got a wallet for our Monero, for our mining. Want some more access? I'll allow it. It's syncing up. We're gonna wait on that to finish, so if you wanna have a coffee break, something. Now it's still synchronizing, but we can go ahead and move forward. What we're gonna do now is click on the account tab right here. And then right here, you'll see your account, and that is your wallet address. We're gonna need that. So go ahead and click on the copy icon on the very far right. Just have that handy. And now we're ready to start mining. And you're gonna learn a few things here as we go. So type in this command or copy and paste, whatever you wanna do, but just make sure you fill in your information. If you wanna use my wallet address, more power to you. Anyways, put in ./XMRig. That's our application we're gonna be using. Then we'll do a -O or tick O space, and we'll specify the pool or the mining pool we're going to be using. Now, the one I wanna demonstrate here, and I'll explain what I mean here in a bit, or what that is. The one I wanna use is gulf.moneroocean.stream :10128. Now you're probably wondering, what the junk is a mining pool and why are we using one? Here's the thing, even though that mining Monero is significantly easier than mining BTC or Ethereum, it's still very, very difficult for a tiny baby Raspberry Pi. Like if we just tried to mine Monero on our own with just this one device, we would never see any amount of money ever. It just would never happen. We never get lucky enough or have enough compute power to actually win the block. That's why you have to join forces with someone else, a team. And that's what a pool is. It's a mining pool. It's a bunch of other devices, a bunch of other miners like yourself that are agreeing to join the pool and mine together. They all connect to the same pool and they all work together, sharing their compute power to try and solve that complex hashing puzzle. And because you have all that compute power combined, you do end up winning some blocks. And when a block is won, the reward, which again is 1.16 XMR, that will be distributed to the miners. And how much you get is determined by how much you helped. How much work did you actually put in to help solve the problem? And they've got some fancy algorithms, some fancy calculations on the mining pool to determine that. I'll show you what it looks like here in a bit. But anyways, let's keep configuring our stuff here. Now there are other mining pools. You can choose your own if you want. I like this one. You can copy me just like this if you want. And then just after that, we'll do a -u space. And here is where you'll paste in your wallet address. I'm gonna paste mine in right now. And then just one more thing here. We'll do a space -p, which normally stands for password, but this is also a way we can label our workers, our miners. So if you do end up having more than one Raspberry Pi, or you want to start using your computers and stuff to do this, because you can label your workers if you have more than one. I want to name this Pi 4 because I do have other Pis in the mix. And that's it. We're gonna hit enter and magic is going to happen. You ready? Let's go. A lot of things happening here. It's getting things ready, it's connecting, and stuff's already happening. Look here. We got a new job from Monero, so we're helping to solve the problems. Now, a couple of things when you have this command line selected. If you hit the letter H, it'll show you your hash rate right now. What's a hash rate? You can think of a hash rate as your speed. How fast are you solving this crypto hash puzzle? How many guesses are you making? That's your hash rate. This Raspberry Pi is using his CPU to mine this. He's got 4 cores, and each core is doing 10 hashes per second, and obviously 11 on the other ones, for a total of 44.16 hashes a second. Now that's actually not too bad, but it definitely doesn't compare to other things. Like earlier we saw that ASIC miner from Antminer. I think, what was that? How many hashes was that doing? Oh yeah, that sucker had 104 terahashes per second. And more often than not, your CPU and even your GPU will have a higher hash rate, but still, Raspberry Pi, he can do some damage. Anyways, a couple more commands we can see here. We can hit the letter S to see if we have done anything yet. And right now we haven't, we have no results yet. What does that mean? When we do actually help solve a problem, a cryptographic hash puzzle, and our mining pool wins a block, we'll see that we had some shares accepted. And how many shares we get is how much work we actually put in to help solve the problem. Now, how many times you solve a problem and how many shares you get will vary. And it will show you what it looks like here in a moment. So I'll give it a second. Now, one more command as well. If you hit the letter C, it shows you your current connection. It shows here that we're using the random X algorithm, our difficulty, which is basically how hard the problem we're solving is. And a lot of these mining pools will automatically adjust your difficulty based on how good your mining machine is. I've connected to pools with my Raspberry Pi that they adjusted my difficulty ratings to 500 because it's weak sauce. Now, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I actually have 3 Raspberry Pis mining to the same exact pool, and things are happening. I'll show you here in a moment, but I want to wait for an accepted share to come in here. Okay, that didn't take very long, but I do have some accepted shares right here. Oh, this is so cool. Yeah, right here. Ah, my pen's upside down. Here we go. Accepted and accepted. And the third one just came in. All right. Now, it will happen to where that you will get a rejected share sometimes, meaning that you were too slow to come up with the calculation or your efforts did not contribute to solving the block. But honestly, mining on this pool, I have not seen one rejected yet. Anyways, let's hit the S key to see what we're doing here. So far, they've accepted 3 shares, which is awesome. So at this point, we have actually mined some XMR. We have mined Monero. It's a small amount, and it'll take a bit to accumulate enough to even be happy about. Now, I've had my other 3 Raspberry Pis running for a bit, and let me show you what they look like over here. Notice when they get in a groove, they accept a ton of shares. Let me just select this one right here, type in S, 134 shares. That's awesome. Now, a lot of these mining pools will give you a way to see how you're doing, how many hashes you're doing, look at all the workers you have, and how much Monero they owe you. So let me show you real quick. For this particular mining pool, they have a website. You'll go to moneroocean.stream and you'll paste your wallet address right here. And as long as you've actually submitted some shares where you saw that accepted, your wallet address should pull up some data here. Now, it'll take a couple minutes after you do that initial share to show up, but this is what I got here. Got my 3 workers doing 309 hashes per second. And notice, I don't know what's up with my other guy, but these 3 Pis are doing almost 100 hashes per second. So a quick note on that. Is it profitable to run the Raspberry Pi as a miner and actually, make money? The short answer is no, not really, because you have to factor in your electricity cost and then how much you're actually earning from mining. According to some mining calculators I saw, you lose about a penny per day mining with this. So if you plan on getting rich, forget about that. But if you plan on having fun and learning about cryptocurrency and you have a spare Pi laying around and you want to earn some cryptocurrency just passively, go for it. This is cool. And you'll learn some stuff along the way, right? Plus, you can brag to all your friends that you're cryptocurrency mining. They don't have to know it's this little. And also, consider that XMR, Monero, may significantly go up in price. This is not financial advice, don't take that, but I'm optimistic. So even though I'm probably losing a penny per day, I just like the fact that I'm collecting a currency, kind of a stock, that could go up, might go down, you never know. Now I just realized the reason that my Raspberry Pi is not performing as well as my other ones is because this guy only has 2 gigs of RAM. And I didn't realize that. I grabbed my weak one. So if you want to take advantage of the fast mode with 64-bit architecture, you'll obviously need 4 gigs or more. So, crypto mining on a Raspberry Pi. What do you think? Are you gonna try it? I really want you to try it. I know it's not worth the money. It's worth the fun though, and worth the knowledge, and just the cool credits. You get cool credits, right? Like for saying you're doing this? Like, yeah, right? Oh well, you learned something. Anyways, let me know below if you attempt this, and also do not forget to hack that YouTube algorithm today. Hit that like button, notification bell, subscribe. Make sure you hack YouTube today. Ethically, of course. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I've had a lot of coffee. No surprise there. And you don't realize this, but I actually do a lot of takes for this, and there are technical issues I work through sometimes as I record this, so and the coffee breaks, sometimes I do a few takes of those. I've had more coffee than you realize. I'll catch you guys next time.